Hello students, welcome back to the Civics class. Today we are going to start chapter 3rd, which is Essentials of Democracy. Learning objectives. Elements of democracy, levels of conflict and their resolution. Let's warm up. What approval or disapproval is being expressed here? In this picture, look at this picture carefully and see what this picture is trying to say. Not bad. One of the taps in the nearly village must be getting water. Application skills. The most important factor of democracy is that the people choose the government. Almost anyone can decide to run for office. If he wishes and if enough people want him to hold office, he will. The issue as to who should hold the office is decided by secret ballot once every few, usually 5 years. A day is set aside for the people to make this big decision. Theoretically, everyone has the power to overthrow a government if he or she wants to. In many countries, voting is compulsory. On polling day, people take turns to go and choose whom they want to let them. But is it the best system? First of all, the system assumes that everyone knows how to make a wise selection. This is not necessarily true. All of us like to be thought of as being wise and being able to make good choices. But this may not be necessarily be so. People have a tendency to look at the government from their personal point of view. The writer knows a man who has decided to vote against the ruling party because he was sentenced by the courts to clean Changi Beach as he had thrown litter near the esplanade. Now, is that a good reason to decide who should run the government? Even though one example does not mean that many of us think that way, it is still reasonable to expect that personal reasons do come in when we make an important decision like voting. Hence, the one man, one vote system that we are so religious about does have its drawbacks. Now answer the following questions. What are the most important factors of democracy as given in the passage? The most important factors of democracy is that people choose the government. B. Why does the writer use the word theoretically in paragraph first? The writer used the word theoretically in paragraph first because theory is different from practical. Number C. What are the drawbacks of one man, one vote system? The drawbacks of one man, one vote system is that not necessarily every person know how to make a wise selection. Democracy. Elements of democracy. In a democratic government, there are certain key elements that are important for democracy. They are, first, participation in making of the democratic government. In a democracy, the most important element is the participation of the people. The people participate through voting in elections and choosing their own representatives. These representatives are then given the power to form a government. The government thus formed remains in power for a fixed period of time. In our country, this period is 5 years. After the end of that period, elections are held again. If the performance of the government has been satisfying, people may re-elect the same representatives. If not, they may elect other representatives to form a new government. Think smarter. Conduct a mock open debate in your class on issues concerning you in the school. Issues that require attention of the school authorities can be picked up. Number 2, participation in running the government. तो जो एलिमेंट्स होते हैं डेमोक्रेसी के वो क्या क्या होते हैं? फर्स्ट एलिमेंट होता है पार्टिसिपेशन ऑफ पीपल. जो डेमोक्रेसी वही गवर्नमेंट होती है जो लोग खुद चुने. अगर लोग उसमें पार्टिसिपेट ही ना करें डिसीजन लेने में तो फिर वो ट्रू सेंस में डेमोक्रेसी नहीं रहेगी. इसलिए हमें पार्टिसिपेट करना चाहिए डेमोक्रेसी में. एंड सेकेंड इज पार्टिसिपेशन इन रनिंग द गवर्नमेंट. सरकार चलाने में भी हमें पार्टिसिपेट करना चाहिए. और कैसे करते हैं? लेट्स सी. People elect their representatives for a period of 5 years, but that does not mean that those elected representatives can do whatever they want to in those 5 years. At times, it is not possible for the representatives sitting far away to get the correct news about the local situation. This can happen due to the lower level officials of local government not doing their jobs properly. People have the right to bring to the notice of the government any shortcomings where the government fails to meet the aspirations of the people. People have also the right to hold meetings. They may take out processions and hold demonstrations. They may compel government to reconsider some of its decisions. A withdrawal of an increase in prices of petrol and LPG is an example of the people bringing pressure to bear on government. तो अगर हमने कोई गवर्नमेंट चुनी है और वो 5 साल तक रहने वाली है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हम उस गवर्नमेंट को वो करने दें जो भी वो करना चाहती है. हम जब भी चाहें गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर प्रेशर बना सकते हैं कि वो कोई डिसीजन अगर हमें नहीं पसंद आता तो ना ले. फ्रीडम. There is no democracy without freedom is a well-known saying. This freedom refers to the freedom of speech and expression, freedom to practice one's own religion, to do any job and to vote. Such freedom are enjoyed by people. कोई भी डेमोक्रेसी बिना फ्रीडम के डेमोक्रेसी नहीं होती. हमें हर उस चीज की आजादी होनी चाहिए डेमोक्रेसी में, जैसे कि अपना रिलीजन फॉलो करने की या फिर सरकार का अगर कोई कदम हमें पसंद नहीं आता उसके बारे में बात करने की. Think smarter. Do you know any important conflict that exists in our society? In a democracy, provided they do not break any laws or harm others in any way. Number 4. Conflicts and their resolution. Whenever people live together, there is a possibility of conflicts. If a country has people belonging to different cultures, regions, races, and religious groups, there is a major possibility of conflicts. When people's opinions differ, they sometimes begin to settle scores irrationally, using violent means. Other members of their group join in without thinking rationally and create an atmosphere of fear and insecurity. It is at this time that the government has to step in to resolve conflict. जब भी किसी सोसाइटी में कोई कन्फ्लिक्ट होता है तो कभी कभी कुछ लोग बिना सोचे समझे उस कन्फ्लिक्ट में पड़ जाते हैं. ऐसे टाइम पे एटमॉस्फेयर सोसाइटी का खराब हो जाता है और गवर्नमेंट को बीच में आके कन्फ्लिक्ट को रोकना पड़ता है. द वेरियस रीजंस ऑफ कन्फ्लिक्ट कुड बी. कन्फ्लिक्ट होने के अलग अलग रीजंस हो सकते हैं, जैसे फर्स्ट, अनइक्वल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन एंड अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ रिसोर्सेज. दिस इज द बेसिक कॉज ऑफ कन्फ्लिक्ट. Another important cause of conflict is the human tendency of greed. People want to take away more than what they need or what is actually theirs. At times, they take away the land and property which is either for common use or not rightfully their own. Religious discord. Sometimes there are conflicts between people of one religion and other. Many times there are conflicts during religious processions. Some miscreants cause discomfort to people of the other religion by passing remarks or gestures which starts a conflict. The government is the appropriate level, takes necessary action to prevent such incidents, and if they happen, then it is their responsibility to bring both sides to negotiate and calm the situation so that people could live amicably. Displacement due to progress. The need for development requires construction of dams, roads, industries, and power projects. Sometimes building infrastructure needs cutting down forest or removing people from where they have been living for years. Such shifting way of people and taking away their land causes many problems for the people as their livelihood depends on that land. Due to such developmental activities, they have to move to new locations, make new houses, find new jobs, and thus they are disturbed. Many times, these disturbed people do not get adequate compensation and they protest against such displacements. Many social activists join in and support them to draw the attention of the government to ensure that the people get the required compensation and new job to earn their living. So, इन जनरल कभी कभी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट रिलीजन्स की वजह से भी होता है. जब दो अलग अलग रिलीजियस ग्रुप के लोग एक दूसरे के ऊपर गलत तरीके से जेस्चर करते हैं या अलग गलत तरीके से कमेंट्स पास करते हैं तो दो लोगों में या दो ग्रुप्स में लड़ाई हो सकती है, कन्फ्लिक्ट हो सकता है। कन्फ्लिक्ट कभी कभी प्रोग्रेस की वजह से भी होता है। जब गवर्नमेंट कहीं प्रोग्रेस करना चाहती है और उसकी वजह से बड़ी स्केल पर लोगों का डिस्प्लेसमेंट होता है, जब लोगों को अपना घर या अपनी जगह छोड़कर डिस्प्लेस होना पड़ता है, कहीं और जाना पड़ता है, तब भी कन्फ्लिक्ट्स हो सकते हैं। इनइक्वालिटी की वजह से भी कन्फ्लिक्ट्स हो सकते हैं। इनइक्वालिटी इन द सोसाइटी एट टाइम्स some people continue with their traditional beliefs and discriminate against others on the basis of caste, gender, etc. They don't let some people get their right to equality. At places, people of some caste are not allowed to enter temples or they are forced to stay out of the villages. They do not give equal status to girls and treat them badly. They do not even give them enough food and give more to the male child. At places, the rich and the powerful exploit the poor and the weak. Such situations causes conflicts within the society and unrest amongst the people. It is the duty of the government to ensure that all citizens get their right to equality. कभी कभी लोगों के साथ भेदभाव किया जाता है, कुछ लोगों को कुएं से पानी नहीं लेने दिया जाता और कभी कभी लड़कियों को पढ़ाई नहीं करने दिया जाता। ऐसी सोसाइटीज में कन्फ्लिक्ट्स होते हैं। Justice and equality. Another key element of democracy is the provision of equality and justice for all its citizens. In a democracy, all are treated equally, whether they be rich or poor, whatever be their religious beliefs, caste, race, language, etc. Provisions to provide equality and justice to all. किस तरीके से equality and justice सबको provide की जा सकती है? For example, it banned the practice of untouchability, which was a social evil. Untouchables were not allowed to mix with the other sections of the society. Mahatma Gandhi and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar fought for equal rights of the untouchables. As a result, our government put a ban on untouchability and decided to punish those who practiced it. One of the most pressing problems faced by the government is the gender biasness in India. Girls are often treated as second-class people. Female fetuses are killed as the birth of a girl child is seen as unwelcome. The government has launched several projects to prevent female infanticide, the killing of baby girls. Levels of conflict. Levels के conflict के अलग-अलग levels. The conflict may be local or even at state level, that is between the states or regions. It is the government's duty to manage and control conflicts. This is because it is the part of the government's duty to give a safe and secure living environment to every citizen of the country, depending on the level and the intensity of the conflicts. The various levels of government take actions to resolve these. This is the image of a police using tear gas to disperse a violent mob. Look around your house and see how many people have encroached upon public land, which is not theirs. Even in posh residential colonies where people have huge bungalows to live in, they park their cars outside their houses and occupy the road space and footpaths for other traffic. Such encroachments lead to problems for others. This is one small example of a local conflict. तो एक तो होता है लोकल कन्फ्लिक्ट जो हमारे आसपास के लोगों के बीच में ही हो, हमारे एकदम लोकल एरिया में ही हो। एक होता है स्टेट कन्फ्लिक्ट जो हो सकता है दो स्टेट या दो रीजन के बीच में हो। At a much higher level, even states have a conflict with each other on sharing of resources like river water. Take the case of a river flowing through 3 states. If a dam is built in one state, it restricts the flow of water into another state. The states make canals and take away water to their own people, but this would deprive the people of the other state from their requirement of water which they need for agricultural purposes. Numerous examples of disputes on sharing land and water have happened in India. For example, Karnataka and Maharashtra have been in conflict on jurisdiction of parts of the Belgaum district. Sharing of river water between Punjab and Haryana and in the southern states of Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka have remained unresolved for many years. The central government has to intervene and resolve such issues. We, the people of the country, are equal participants in forming and running the democratic government. At the same time, it is our duty to ensure that the rules made by the government are followed by us as responsible citizens. If this does not happen all the time and resources of the government would be wasted in managing the conflicts, then the country would never progress as rapidly as it should. तो हमें एज ए सिटीजन भी रिस्पॉन्सिबल होना चाहिए कि कन्फ्लिक्ट्स ना हो, क्योंकि जितने ज्यादा कन्फ्लिक्ट्स होंगे गवर्नमेंट के उतने ही ज्यादा रिसोर्सेज वेस्ट होंगे उन कन्फ्लिक्ट्स को रिजॉल्व करने में. जैसे कि कर्नाटका और महाराष्ट्र के बीच में बेलगांव डिस्ट्रिक्ट को लेकर डिस्प्यूट है, वैसे ही रिवर वाटर को लेकर तमिलनाडु केरला में डिस्प्यूट है. तो इसलिए डिस्प्यूट्स कम हो, ये हमारी भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है. फैक्ट फाइल. The concept of democracy originated in ancient Greece. It was first introduced in Athens in 505 BC. Value and life skills. Can you think of any experience in your life in which you helped someone out of situation which you thought was unfair? Did everyone else see it the same way? What did you have to say to convince others that what you did was fair? Recapitulation. India is a democratic country. The key elements of a democratic government are participation, freedom, resolution of conflicts, equality, and justice. The government is responsible for helping to resolve the conflicts between two groups, communities, or states. People can criticize the government through the media. A government cannot be truly democratic unless it provides equality and justice to its people. The various reasons of conflict could be unequal distribution and availability of resources, religious discord, displacement due to progress, and inequality. Thank you, class. Let's meet in the next chapter.